Right, before we get on with this video, do us a massive favour, hit the thumbs up please, and subscribe if you're new. Doesn't cost nothing, really appreciate it.
You will never know what that means to me. That is everything! Everything!
Right everybody, we're 45 subscribers away from 6,000 and you know what that means, you'll be in with a chance of winning the football shirt.
Right, hello everybody and welcome back to another match preview. As you know, in the Championship the games come thick and fast. This time, Saturday at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland versus high-flying Burnley. Paul?
Right Stephen, you all know Burnley. Vincent Kompany, when he first took over these, he let a lot of players go. A few got released, like obviously Tarkovsky went to Everton, Collins went to Wolves, you've got Waghorst went, Cornet went to West Ham, but they've recruited well. They've kept some key players as well in Rodriguez, Jacques. They've kept a few good players, Stephen.
Well, yeah, like you're saying, they've kept some good players and they've brought in well. With a name like Vincent Kompany, you are going to be able to attract certain players. It's a given, it's a fact. Look, this is going to be a very hard game. I was saying to Paul before, Burnley they've scored 24 goals this season, which is the joint second most. There's only Bristol City who scored more than them by 1, and they've also only conceded 12 goals this season, which is the second lowest amount of goals. Only Preston has conceded less than them. So it doesn't bode well for a freaking very entertaining game.
Hopefully, Stephen, we can keep a clean sheet. But looking at form, the fifth away form, Burnley, but us, I think we are down in, what was it, 15th or something like that?
Wigan were top on away form.
There you go, 4 means now.
4 means Josh. Look, if you remember our preview before the Blackburn game, we should have won last night just by statistics alone. But we were wrong, so you never know what's going to happen.
So key players, Stephen, for them who we've got to keep an eye on. Let's kick it off. Gio Rodriguez, scored 7 goals for them up to now. You know, he's the fair forward player, but he's been about quite a while now. He's been about quite a while. And they've got Josh Brownhill as well. He's scored, I think it's 4 this season.
He's scored 4 and he's got 4 assists so far. So he's the threat from midfield. You've also got Nathan Teller, another midfielder playing alongside. He's got 5 goals himself this season, no assists, but he's still popping up. So that's 2 midfielders with 9 goals between them. So they've got threats all over the pitch. Like I said, they've recruited well and they've kept some of the good players. But there's 2 players that I want to mention here. They're both the 2 fullbacks. One of them's on loan from Chelsea, Ian Matson. He's called, or Matson, I don't know how you freaking pronounce it. And anyway, he's got 1 goal and 4 assists from left back. And then you've got on the other side, you've got Fitino, Brazilian fullback, and he's got 1 goal and 2 assists. 2 goals and 1 assist this season. They like to go forward and they're a threat. With Gooch being injured and Elise, there's 2 of our fullbacks. We don't know what they're going to be like. I was listening to Mowbray before, and he's hoping the Gooch is just a bit bruising and he's going to be all right. And Elise, it didn't have any information on him yet.
That's the thing. Just before we got into Sunderland, Stephen, Kompany, he let Cornet go on, and he was an amazing left back. And then, like you've just been saying there, the 2 fullbacks popping up with goals as well, and they're looking like they are a threat. So he's done well to replace that position in Cornet.
Well, listen, it's definitely going to be a hard game.
Definitely.
I mean, earlier on in the season, I said the hardest game of the season so far would have been Norwich. This game for me is the hardest game of the season so far. Burnley, for me, are favourites to win the league, or definitely to go up anyway. Definitely in the top 2, and they're probably favourites to win the league. They've got a good manager. Even though he's only just new starting out, he's doing well for them. And like I say, he's brought in well, and they're playing some good football. Like I say, it's hard to score against them, and they're scoring goals.
If they win tonight, Saturday, they will go on top. They've also got 2 games in hand on top spot, Blackburn. So you know it's looking rosy for them at the minute.
I'm obsessed with that league table, isn't it?
I'm obsessed with it.
Jesus.
Do you know what? I'm just trying to delay the inevitable. Us talking about last night's game, Stephen.
Talk about it all you want. I was building cars.
You were listening on the thing, weren't you?
My bosses might be listening.
Well, he wasn't.
Right, obviously now we're going to go on to Sunderland, and we'll start with last night's game. Like I say, Paul's going to tell you most about it. I've seen the highlights. I've seen the key decisions of the blatant Stonewall penalty that we should have got 22 seconds before they scored an absolute screamer, and also the second goal, which was a yard offside. I don't know if you know this, Paul. I don't think you mentioned it last night on the stream. The referee that we had last night was the same referee that cancelled Ronaldo's goal against Newcastle on Sunday. Also cancelled Newcastle. I mean, I'm not a fan of Newcastle, as you all know, But did you see Callum Wilson's penalty shout on Sunday?
Aye.
The bloke should have been in. The bloke who tackled him should have been in jail. Never mind giving away a penalty. That was one of the worst tackles I've seen in the box. That was a blatant penalty, and Man United should have had a penalty. So the referee's got history of being. He was that shit on Sunday. He got relegated to the Championship, and I wouldn't even put him in charge of a Wrexham game. When looking at the weekend, he was that shit.
Aye, well, Stephen, moving on to Sunderland. Do you know what? I thought the lads held their own last night. We didn't look out of place with Blackburn being top of the league and doing really well this season. I thought in spells we were pinning them in. We just, for the life of us, I've said this a few videos now, we were refusing to pull the trigger. A lot of people have been saying it on social media now. They're getting really good key areas, dangerous positions, and they're just not pulling the trigger. The referee was, I'm not even lying to you when I say this, that's the worst referee and display I've seen in the Championship and anywhere this season. Easy. It was catastrophic for us and anyway.
Yes, it was bad, but you've also got to take the rough with the smooth. And some of you might not like us for saying this, right? But I'm not going to stick up for the referees because they're all shocking. But it can go both ways. On Saturday, Mcglynn shouldn't have been on the pitch. That tackle he did on Charlie White, studs were up, his foot was up. That should have been a straight red. Should have been a straight red card, and then a few minutes later we scored the equaliser, which helped us go on to win the game. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. There's no VAR in the Championship. We don't want VAR in the Championship.
That's a question now. Then would you not?
No.
Off last night we would have picked up points.
Well, we might have picked up points, but also on Saturday we might not have. Because if they went to VAR on that tackle, Mcglynn would have been sent off.
That's a question for years in the chat. Would comment below if you think we should have VAR or not, if I can say the word in anyway.
If you say yes, you're getting blocked.
I think we should personally. I really.
You're saying it off because you're still in a huff off last night.
Yeah, you're right. I'm fuming.
If last night the decisions didn't happen, and you asked them that question, they'd be like, "No, I need chance."
But when the young lads will come on, you had Mitchell come on, you had Barr come on. I thought Barr really shone. He really did when he came on. The rest of them, they are right. Like I keep saying, it's so obvious that we're missing a striker, an out-and-out striker.
Somebody put a post on. I can't remember who it was. But look, you've got to look at last game of last season. We had to travel to Morecambe and get a result just to qualify for the playoffs.
Exactly.
Now we're sitting mid-table in the Championship. We've had a decent start. It's like I say, if you look at how close the Championship is, it can go anywhere. And I'm proud of the lads of how we've performed.
100%.
Look, we've had two strikers. I think normally we only play with one, so we would have had one as backup. But we end up playing two strikers. As it happens, we've been very unlucky and we're getting them both injured. We've got players on the pitch who have been stepping up. Obviously, they can't do it every time, but even when you've got strikers on the pitch, you're not going to score every game.
I think, Stephen, to be honest, we're only two key players away from an absolute belter of a team, to be honest.
Aye.
Two players, and that would be Ballard and Stewart. If we can get them two fit, obviously you've got to have like your covers and your Ellis Sims as well up top with Stewart. But for me, them two key players there, if we can get them fit and firing again, this season could have been different. We could have been top of the league. You
know what I'd like to see? It's not going to happen, but you know what I'd like to see? I don't see why we couldn't do it on Burnley. Burnley's good. The Vincent Company would be good at analysing games, analysing teams, knowing how to play against them. Saturday, change the team up. Change the team up. Drop the likes of Neils, the Embleton's. Start the likes of Mitchell's and Bars and Bennett's. Give them something different. Let's see how they do from the start of the match.
A lot of people, well, a few people were saying, what's Mitchell done to warrant a start? When people have been saying, start him. He hasn't exactly. You need to give him the chance to prove his worth.
If you listen to what Mowbray said about what he's doing on the training ground, he's smashing it. He's ripping it up. He's brilliant with both feet. He's got that killer pass in him. His vision is exquisite. His passing and movement's tremendous. Exquisite. and then just let him put him on. I'd mix it up, mate, and I'd put the. He won't do it because no manager will, but I would do it. I'd start the likes of Bennett and Ahmad's and Bars and Michus, and why not?
But the reason why I probably didn't think he would do that is how well we've done in this league, regardless of who we're playing. Norwich, we were very unlucky, we probably should have beat them. Watford, we should have beat them as well. And them are teams who are up there. So Burnley, he's not going to treat them any different. He's going to think we've got a chance.
Since we've lost our strikers, we've pretty much kept the same team. Right, we've pretty much kept the same team. Maybe a couple of changes here and there in different games. But we know they know who the danger men are. They know who. Right, they're going to get it to Clark to cut in. The Roberts is going to make them run in at the back. But they know what we're going to do.
I felt sorry for Roberts.
So why not mix it up?
He got
I heard you saying
three players
on the bottom.
They've
done the homework well.
They did.
They know he's a threat, so they fucking took him out of the game.
And I tell you what, that Diaz goal, he took that really well. Have you seen that?
It was off decent.
It was a belter goal. But did you see he's tackling on Alicia though, the dirty twat?
But obviously not.
Obviously,
I was at work making cars, man.
He didn't. I thought you might have seen it this morning.
No.
He took Alicia out. That's how Alicia is a doubt for Saturday. because he absolutely slid in a bit like Embleton's one.
Yeah, well, we've just got to see what happens now. I mean, obviously,
No.
we'll find out over the next couple of days who's available, who's not.
Right.
Wait, what was good to see was, I don't know if any of you noticed this, but last week, Niall Huggins played for the under-23s.
He got on last. Oh no, it wasn't Huggins. Sorry, it was here.
Niall Huggins played last week for
I
the
didn't notice that.
under-23s.
Didn't notice.
So if he's back in training, back on the pitch, I mean, he's class. Wait, from what I've heard, he's class.
Well,
and the little glimpses I've seen of him,
he showed potential, didn't he?
but he's an actual fullback. You know what I mean?
He can play either wing, either side.
Exactly.
Either side.
So what we've got players coming back into contention, which is good signs. So we're just going to have to see what happens. I mean, look,
we've been unlucky, like, haven't we, really, with the two strikers getting injured.
well, of course we have. I mean,
Very unlucky.
you last night, I mean, you've never stopped going on about it. Yeah, Speakman should have got it. He didn't.
He should have.
Give it, he didn't get over it. We didn't get an extra striker in, so there's no point in fucking mentioning it all the time. There's no point in dwelling on it.
Here's one for you though, and comment below if you agree or disagree. Should we, even if Sims and Stewart is fit, should we then go in the market and get a striker? Not a free, go in the market in
January, yes.
100%. Oh, well, you got to both agree.
100%. Everybody will. Everybody will agree.
Oh, you know.
In January, yes, we need to buy a good striker.
100%.
Massively. That's a given.
Right.
But we tried to do it. We tried to do it in the transfer window, but the people who went for fell through. Basically, Speakman had a few targets to go for, and he thought he had one, and that one fell through. He thought he had another, and then basically we ran out of time because of people just deals falling through, and that's business.
I just wish things didn't pan out the way they have. I'm not saying the season's over and Devon buried. It's not. We've got the second half, Stewart and Sims and Ballard to come back.
That's ages to go yet.
Ages, isn't it? There's ages. You know what you sell? You're seeing it on social media yourself, Stephen. It's people's going on like doom and gloom, and it's not.
No,
it clearly
it's far from it.
The league is so tight. It's so tight. The league, like you see a couple of wins, bang, you're back in the mix.
Exactly.
A couple of losers, and you're down the bottom.
Right, before we go on to Man and Paul's score prediction, there was one person who guessed Blackburn 2-0 last night, and I'm going to let Paul say his name because he gets it wrong every time.
Don Canelo got it right.
Are you sure it's Don Canelo or Dan Canelo? Which one?
Oh, didn't it?
Because you get it wrong all the time.
I'm going Don.
He's gone Don Canelo.
Do you know what? He's a channel member and he watches all the time and he comments. And
well done, you predicted Blackburn would win 2-0 and you got it right.
So if you want to get involved, just leave a comment, your score prediction. And guess what? We're nearly at 6,000 subscribers. So
what we all know after last night's stream?
55, so we're only
45 subscribers away from 6,000. However, we can do it. Let's get it smashed before the end of October.
And that's about it from now, Stephen.
No, it's not. He's full of shit. Paul, what's the score going to be against Burnley?
See what I mean?
Useless.
I am.
Useless.
You wouldn't think I've been doing this for nearly 2 years.
I've left early to come and do this with him. I'm on my way to work, but I thought I'll have to do it because he's useless without us.
I kind of cope. I'm going to go for after year because I went first.
No, you never. I went first because I said 2-0 and you went 1-0.
All right. Well, I'm going for 1-1 draw. Sunderland won and Burnley won. I'm getting shot at here.
Well, I'm going.
Come with your head and not your heart, because that's what I always do. But no, actually, come with your heart.
I'm sorry, everybody. No, I can't go with my heart. I'm sorry, everybody.
Didn't. Not for the second time.
But I'm going Sunderland 0, Burnley 2.
Fucking 2 now.
They don't concede and they score for fun. Wow. And with the Lacey and Gooch injured, and the fact that we still haven't got no strikers, and we don't like to strike, we don't like to shoot, we like to walk it in and then pass it to the invisible striker on the edge of the 6-yard box. I just can't say it. I've even got it written down here in my notes. Look, for those of you who say it, I can't see us winning. I just cannot. I may not be out the moon. I'll put it here. Would be happy with a draw.
Aye.
But I can't see us winning.
I've said a draw.
I'm sorry, but
draw.
I hope I'm wrong. But that's what I'm going for.
Comment below if you're happy with Stephen backstabbing us and going for a Burnley 2-0 win.
It's a competition, which by the way he hasn't mentioned to us, but I'm actually 1-0 up in this competition.
Ah, you are. I'm right. I want to win, but I'm going for a draw.
The last time I predicted Sunderland to get beat, I won.
Aye.
The Swansea game.
Ah, shit. Ah, you did.
Right, so anyway.
Aye, that's about it from now.
Saturday we'll be outside. We might go back to the Beacon again. We enjoyed it at the Beacon.
It was really good. I like
we went to the Beacon before the game, so we might go to the Beacon and then if
I need to redeem myself.
Mate,
did it? I'm not. We're going
to go to the Beacon, and then if the weather's all right, we'll head out to the statue a bit earlier before we head inside the ground. So, Paul,
hit the thumbs up
and subscribe if you're new. How are the lads?
See you in a bit.